Hey, I am Jeff with oregonplex, and I am making you this video to talk to you about my new Plex market report for certain markets and submarkets within Oregon. So if you don't know me already, I'm Jeff Stevens. I am primarily a real estate investor myself, and I have mostly two, three, and four unit properties. I have a real estate license, and you know what? I realized I wasn't using it to help people enough with my exact area of expertise. So I am, as far as I know, the only agent who focuses exclusively on helping people buy and sell two, three, and four unit properties around Oregon. I live in Bend. I do lots of business in Portland. I have family in Salem. My wife grew up in the Medford area. And so we're all over the state of Oregon, and that's what I love to do. So I figure if you are interested in buying and selling two to four unit properties in Oregon and anywhere, then you need some data. And who better to create that data than me? So I am now making available these market reports. This one here I'm going to share with you right now is for Central Oregon. As of April, just a couple weeks ago, I pulled data and created this report. And I wanted to share this with you. And I'm going to start doing this on an ongoing basis. So, one of the things you'll notice in the report is that I've broken it up by subsections. In Central Oregon, I have three sections. I have the west side of Bend, the east side of Bend, and then Redmond. Now, are there more areas of Central Oregon than that? Yes, absolutely. But that captures some of the biggest sort of pockets where these properties are and where my clients are interested in buying and selling. And each of those pockets has different market dynamics, so to speak. So I'm going to tell you a little bit first about the west side of Bend. Overall in Central Oregon, but especially on the west side, we have, it's a limited sample size, right? It's not like we can create averages out of 10,000 data points where there's really only a few properties for sale. So as of this report of April 2025, there are three active properties on two, three, and four units on the west side of Bend. Average price per square foot was like $535,000. Days on market were at 55. So it shows that those products at that price per unit and price per square foot is 457, are not moving super quickly right now. Um, Now, when we look at the closed ones, there are only three closed, and I believe two of those were had short-term rental permits. So this is another thing that makes it really important that like we talk. If you have a property you're thinking about buying or selling, we really need to talk about it specifically, not too much just in generalities, because short-term and long-term rentals are going to produce very different income and then have very different valuations, of course. The vast majority of properties are going to be long-term, and until you have a couple exceptional ones that are short-term rentals. And so I do think we had a couple short-term rental properties that sold in the last 180 days. So I go back 180 days because we need as much data as we can get. If this was, New York City, we could probably go back 10 days and have more than enough data, but we need 180 days to get enough data. When we look at the east side of Bend, the east side of Bend just has more two to three, four unit properties anyway. So it makes sense that there'd be a lot more activity over there. But right now, at this time, there were 14 actually active properties over there. They're being listed right now on an average of $364,000 per unit. But when we look at the closed ones, in the last 180 days, there were five. So it's a reasonable number of closings, but they closed at $317,000 per unit. And so we see that there's more volume over here, and people are probably shooting high kind of on their listings right now. But then, closing at slightly lower numbers, price per square foot, price per door, et cetera. In my report also, you'll see I also include the number of pending properties, but the number of expired, canceled listings or withdrawn listings. So why do I do that? Because anybody at any time can list a property and just put it out there at whatever price they want. Doesn't mean that it's even remotely reasonable. I call these fishing expeditions. Someone just says, "Well, hey, if I can get my price, then heck, I'll sell this one." Maybe there's a desperate 1031 exchange buyer with 47 minutes left to identify their property, and they're just going to identify mine. Maybe we'll get lucky, but those aren't really representative of like the real market. So I point those out too. And in the last 180 days, there were seven that were expired, canceled, or withdrawn because they couldn't get the buyer that they wanted to. The last thing I'll mention to you here is Redmond, and Redmond is not quite as active as the East Side, but right now there are seven overall that are active and 17 actually that have closed in the past 180 days. So it looks like the last 6 months, the majority of the Plex transactions have been actually taking place in Redmond. Again, we see this dynamic of average list price right now is 370, but then the average close price was like 273. So again, there's a lot of difference between those data points, but that's kind of a summary of what's happening now or in April 2025 in the Plex market in Central Oregon. So as I mentioned, you look below for comments in the comments for like links where you can register to make sure you're getting on the email list for this report all the time. I'll be updating it every month. I'll be doing it for the other main markets in Portland or in Oregon that I'm working in, like in Portland and the various pockets of Portland. It's broken down into different sections of Portland for like that too. So if you have a property you are thinking about selling, when you're thinking about buying, if you want to talk investment strategy of 2 to 4 unit properties, investment strategy of your portfolio, I'm the guy to talk to. That's exactly what I've been doing for the last couple decades of my own career as a real estate investor. I actually have coaching clients all over the country and just sort of a different arm of my business. This is what I love to do. This is what I love to help people with. So give me a call, 503-869-7303, or send me an email, jeff at oregonplex.com. If you want the market reports, oregonplex.com/market, and you can sign up to get them. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Keep you guys up to date and let me know how I can help you. Take care.